Hey everyone, Isabelle Fox here, and today we're going to be talking about the crucial yet basic do's and don'ts of escorting. So just some escorting 101 for you. You should know that I actually love getting requests about videos that you want to hear about. This channel is really about providing information to those who need it. So if you guys tell me what exactly you'd like to learn about, then I can make those sorts of videos for you. This was a request that I had to just go over some basic do's and don'ts when you're beginning out. So if you're just starting in the industry and you're feeling a little bit overwhelmed, then these do's and don'ts should help you get on your way. So the first do is get used to being on call. Remember that escorting really is not a 9 to 5 job. You do have the luxury of picking when you work. However, you certainly don't have the luxury of consistent and set hours. That means that you might have no work all week, and then Friday night comes, you have your best friend's birthday party planned, and all of a sudden you have 3 booking requests. You need to get used to figuring out how you're going to handle that. And it means that sometimes it will be inconvenient for your social life. You will get called away in the middle of when you're doing something important, but that is just the nature of the game. As you're in it for longer and you build consistent clientele, this will become less of an issue. But certainly at the beginning, you need to get used to just being able to take bookings when they come in, because that's crucial time, and we're going to get to that next. Do work hard in your first 6 to 12 months. I tell all the girls that I work with that the first 6 to 12 months is the most crucial time to establish their profile and build regular clientele. If you work hard in the first 12 months, you will be able to reap the rewards of stable income and regular clientele that allows you to pursue other areas of your life down the track. So I've got a number of girls who really put in the hard yards in the first 12 months. Now they've got uni degrees that they're working on, they've got other jobs, they've got second businesses, and their regular clientele know who they are because they were actually available to meet them, and they're far more able to work with them so that they can actually do other things. So it may seem difficult, but if you can just say to yourself that first 12 months, I'm going to give it my all, you will really benefit from that down the track. Do learn to be solution-oriented, flexible, and know how to think on your feet. This is a great life lesson anyway, but it especially applies to escorting. Things go wrong all the time, and this is actually normal. So this is the first thing you need to try to remember, is get your head out of thinking that problems are problems. Problems are actually normal and they're going to happen no matter what. So that means that your client will be late. You might get to a hotel and the instructions provided to the client isn't very clear. Perhaps the lift stops working, so you now have to go downstairs and meet your client. You might forget an outfit that they've asked for. You might rip an outfit when you're trying to put it on. And the thing about escorting is that generally you're by yourself, so it's up to you to figure out exactly how to solve these problems. So it's your job as a professional to remain cool, calm, and collected, and just breeze past these problems and always focus on the solution. So, oh, I'm so sorry I forgot that outfit, but don't worry, I have something that you're going to like even more. I'll make it up to you next time. I promise I'll make it up to you with the best something that you've ever had. So you always just have to try and remain calm and remember that this isn't a life or death situation most of the time. Obviously, I'm just talking about normal problems, and everything can be solved. So if you keep that mentality, then you'll definitely be able to breeze past problems and your client will remain more calm as well. Do pursue as many new experiences as you can in the early stages of your career. Of course, within the confines of your safety and your comfortability. When brand new workers come to me, so people who have never been in the industry before, come to me and ask me about what they should do to start out, I often recommend brothel work. That's where I started. And it is a really great way to get a lot of work very quickly and to really see how you handle the job and to get a lot of experience. Another benefit of brothel work is that you're surrounded by people who can be there to help and support you. So they can give you advice, they can help you if a tricky situation comes up that could be potentially dangerous, which actually doesn't happen as often as people think. You may think if you're in the layman's world, but it does happen. So I often recommend brothel work. However, you can get a lot of new experience and high volume work in many different ways, in whatever way suits you. So it's also a really excellent way to build your skill set. You will learn a lot quickly, and you'll also figure out the best area for you to niche in, which will become crucial for you when you progress along in your career and you decide to specialize, which is when you can start to increase your rates and you can really hone in on a really particular set of clientele. So I really recommend getting lots of experience in working at different places, working with different people, seeing different clients. You will learn a lot and it will benefit your long-term career and you will make more money. Now on to the don'ts. The biggest don't I have ever learned in my entire career is don't ignore your body when it tells you it needs rest. Burnout is an unpleasant cycle to get stuck in, and aside from the fact that it's unpleasant physically and emotionally, it also leaves you broke. And it is also extremely common in our industry, again because we are very alone, so there's nobody to tell you to slow down. And also because we earn so much money most of the time, you will earn a lot of money and then get addicted to that level of money, then you'll take time off because you're burnt out, then you'll go back in to earn a lot of money again. I've actually spoken about the financial burnout cycle in another video, but it's really unpleasant. So the best way you can stay out of this is to just listen to your body when it tells you it needs rest. So think long term. If you want to build consistent, regular clientele, which is how you will make the most stable, consistent money, you yourself need to be a consistent and regular worker. Your income really does rely on the quality of your health. It is your most important asset in this job, so you need to protect it. Don't be unprepared. Again, this is an on-call style of job. If you're actually escorting and not working in a brothel, then you will have the sort of job where you get a text or a phone call telling you that you have a booking and you will need to up and go and be ready to do that booking. So you should have an easily accessible work kit on hand. This is the sort of job where a client wants what they want and they want it now. And there are a number of other people who are in the position to provide it to them now. So often time is crucial, and being ready in an hour is often far better than being ready in 2 hours. So you need to learn to get ready in minimal time. And as you progress and make more money and your income becomes more stable, I recommend that you invest in ways to be ready on call. So that might come to your beauty regime. For instance, I have a lot of beauty things done that are now permanent, so I don't have to worry about stopping to do them. Even small things like putting on mascara. I have eyelash extensions, so a lot of my facial stuff is done. I really don't have to wear almost any makeup. I can be ready to go at any time. You should also have a work kit that you have accessible as much as possible wherever you're going. So that will depend on your lifestyle. If you drive a car, I suggest you have your work kit in your car. If you don't have a car, then I suggest you keep your work kit with you as much as you can when you know that you're going to be available for work. And here is just a really basic set of things you should have in your work kit that will probably come up and save you for any booking. Outside of the unusual requests, and in which case, if you have a client who tries to book you last minute with an unusual request, it's generally pretty reasonable to say, I'm really sorry, but today I won't have time to prepare that for you. So in your work kit, you need a dress, a set of lingerie, a pair of heels, condoms, lube. I recommend a sex toy. They're requested quite often. A costume or a role play outfit. I recommend you have either schoolgirl, secretary, or gym. They're the 3 most common requested outfits. A casual outfit that's obviously still hot and sexy. That could be a jeans and top, or it could be a little casual dress. And a long coat to wear to out calls. So you might be out during the day and get a request to go to a hotel. The client might want you to wear a dress. You may not want to rock up to the Park Hyatt in the middle of the day wearing a dress and heels. So if you have a long coat, that will really help you out to stay discreet. Don't give your clients attitude, even when they deserve it. And this is a really, really hard don't to live by. Because yes, your clients will push the boundaries. They will even at times be rude. This is just normal. This is what people are like. But you are the professional in this situation, and you can put them in their place without giving them attitude back. I have found throughout my career that most situations, especially with men, can be handled smoothly with a flirty smile, playfulness, and a solution-oriented approach. So even if a client asks me for an unpleasant request, I will generally give them a cheeky smile and say, oh, you are really cheeky, aren't you? I couldn't possibly do that for you today, but I can do this instead. Why don't we do that? And I smile and I move on. So I've still told him no. I've still not given him any leeway to discuss the thing that he's just asked me to do that I don't want to do. But I also haven't ruined the entire mood or now put him on the defensive by telling him that he's an asshole. So always better to try that approach once, twice, even 3 times before you put your foot down, because generally you won't need to do it more than that. And also your client will probably like you more and be far more likely to come back. So be confident and lead your client past a problem to a solution. Remind him why he is here and all the fun you can have together. So a good way to get past issues is to always be solution oriented. If you stay in the problem, then people linger on and focus on the problem. So let's say, for instance, your client has requested a certain outfit and he turns up and you don't have the outfit. Don't simply end the conversation at, oh, I'm really sorry, I don't have it. End the conversation with an alternative that you guys can do, or a way to make it up to him, or even say to him, I promise that next time I'll have that outfit. Always better to focus on a solution that you can enact now, because people will feel better about that. But if you need to, if they're really not buying that, then you can add in, don't worry, I'll have it next time. So lead your client past your problem to the solution, and he's there for sexual fulfillment often. So remind him of the exciting sexual fun you guys can have together. And lastly, if you are the female in a situation with a man, which is what I have always been and what most of us are if you're listening to these videos, then use that to your advantage. Remind your client that he is a gentleman and that you are a lady. Yes, he's the customer and you are the business professional, but he's also a man and you are a woman, and you can remind him of that. So for instance, when clients ask me for natural sex, which I obviously do not provide, I will say to him, a gentleman like you would never ask a lady like myself to do something that I don't feel comfortable doing. And I have never once had a client ask me again after I have said those words, because that reminds him of his place in society and he generally isn't going to push that boundary. Don't let the negative opinions of others bring you down. I like to remind my girls of this when something happens that upsets them, when people say something negative about what they do, is to remember that stigma literally makes us money. If our industry wasn't stigmatized, it would not be worth as much and we wouldn't get paid the sort of money that we do. So anytime you hear a negative comment against your profession, just see the dollar signs and think, yes, you just helped me make more money, thank you. You don't need to engage in what these people say. It's all about how you feel about it internally. What truly matters, really, is your internal belief systems and your self-worth, not the external opinions of others that you cannot control. You can get into arguments with people about your job. Generally, that doesn't go anywhere. You're better off just focusing on how you feel and feeling good about what you do every day. However, I'm not saying that the people who do go out there and advocate for our industry against people who are negative about it aren't valuable. In fact, it's exceptionally valuable and I'm very, very thankful for them. But I'm talking about in a day-to-day setting, if you're just trying to do your job and make your money, don't worry about what other people think. Worry about how you feel instead. And actively surround yourself with like-minded people. You need to step away from those people, especially in your personal life, who cannot support you. Obviously, only to a reasonable extent. If you have family who don't support you and you're not telling them, that's a trickier situation to handle. However, I recommend that you surround yourself with like-minded friends or like-minded colleagues. You want some area of your life that you can go to where you will have people who support you and lift you up about what you're doing. And lastly, you need to protect the contents of your mind at all costs. Do not allow it to be polluted about this or about any issue in your life, whether that be about family, about money, about relationships. Your mind is the most important thing that you have, so you have to protect it and make sure you aren't letting other people put rubbish into it that you don't agree with. So there you have it, guys. They are my crucial yet basic do's and don'ts for escorting. I hope they help you out, and as always, if you have any videos that you want to hear about or any questions, feel free to get in touch.